Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Welcome all again!
What's up, everybody? Welcome. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Oh, boy, do we have a lot to get to today. I don't even know where to begin, folks. It's going to be a fun show. Let me just give you the quick rundown on everything. Obviously, we have the owner of the New England Patriots apparently getting happy endings at massage parlors. We will talk about that. R. Kelly, there's no laughing matter here. I don't know why it took him decades, but he has finally been indicted. And we have, as they call on Fox News, the creepy porn lawyer to thank for that. So I wonder if Tucker Carlson will be thanking the creepy porn lawyer. We'll get to that and Smollett updates as well. Hour number 2, Jim Gemma with the Aviators. We got that new arena, I shouldn't say arena, new ballpark that is going to be done very, very soon. There is a huge job fair in Vegas tomorrow. If you're looking for an extra job, part-time job, you're going to want to listen in hour number 2 because Jim with the Aviators is going to talk to us about that huge job fair for the new ballpark that is going to be opening up very soon. And we even got movie reviews today. We got our own L.A. producer, Alexander Valentine, is going to be joining us in hour 2. If you're thinking of catching a movie this weekend, we will give you those updates on those movies as well. So, wow, a lot to get to. It's been kind of a crazy day news-wise, and I want to start with this. Because, you know, I grew up in New England, not a huge Patriots fan, so I'm not biased one way or another. So the story comes out about New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. I shouldn't laugh because I guess it's serious, but it's kind of funny when you think of a billionaire. This reminds me of Steve Wynn and why Steve Wynn's reputation will forever be tarnished. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft charged with 2 counts of soliciting someone to commit prostitution. This is stemming from a major sting involving several day spas. We know what day spas are. Come on, they're massage parlors. That's what they are. It happened in Florida. Keep in mind, Kraft is now 77 years old. And he's among dozens of people linked to this sex trafficking operation. Let's call this what it is. Let's just be honest here. He's getting these misdemeanor charges. If they gave these type of misdemeanor charges out in Las Vegas, I'd say probably 1 million people would be cited. I'm not saying go ahead and do it. I'm not saying it's great, but come on. There are hundreds of massage parlors in Las Vegas. Do we really think that these massage parlors are not offering certain types of services? I mean, JD, I know you probably frequent these places every day, right? You probably know a little bit more than me.
I go about 12 times a week.
12? Well, that's a lot.
I have a budget for it.
So what do they charge, JD? Can you give us some insight into this? If you want a happy ending at one of these massage parlors, what do they charge? Do you have any idea?
I was being facetious. I do not go to massage parlors 12 times a week.
I thought you were serious.
But do you know?
I'm going to guess. It's just a wild guess.
Take a ballpark figure type of guess.
I would imagine if you want extracurriculars, you're probably spending anywhere between $100 and $200. Again, I'm just guessing on that. If anyone's had an experience at one of these massage parlors and they'd like to call in, the phone lines are open at 257-5396. Let me give my opinion on this whole situation, okay? Now, Kraft is going to get a slap on the wrist here. This is a nothing. This is a total nothing. But here's where the issue lies. It's with the NFL. How are they going to handle this? And number 2, this is a complete embarrassment for Kraft. Now, he's denying it. I should say his attorney's denying it, a spokesperson saying, we categorically deny that Mr. Kraft engaged in any illegal activity. Okay, here's the problem with this. The police chief over there did a press conference today, and the police chief said that they basically have him on video. Now, I don't know if this was sex, okay, but I guess I don't want to get into detail here, but when you say happy ending, some people would construe that as sex, and I guess you can. I can understand that. But if that's all this guy was getting was a happy ending, so to speak, I don't see it being a big deal. There are massage parlors all over Las Vegas that I am sure if you offered them a little bit of money, they would offer those types of services. Now, if
there's an entire block dedicated to it on Spring Mountain.
Yes, exactly. Just go to Spring Mountain.
An entire block. There's like 35 or 40 of these places.
Wait a second. I thought you said you didn't go. How do you know that?
I've driven past. I like Chinese food.
You just drive past these places. I understand. Okay, fine. But again, it's not like a huge deal where he's going to go to jail. It's a misdemeanor. Okay, it's a minor thing.
He's also 77 years old and worth $6.6 billion. I don't think he cares.
Put it this way, the Smollett situation is far more serious than this.
Yeah.
But again, it's just an embarrassment. It reminds me of Stephen. If this guy is, and at 77 years old, we got to give Kraft credit. Apparently, he's taking the blue pills. I don't know.
He's definitely taking some sort of pill.
Yeah, I give him a ton of credit. We got to give him credit for saluting at that age. But
did you see the meme?
I did not,
of what the girl looked like, and it was Tom Brady's face with long hair and a beard?
I didn't see
that. It was
that.
hilarious.
No. The guy has so much money. This is what I don't understand. And I'm going to go back to Steve Wynn and make this kind of a local thing, compare it to that as well. What's amazing is this guy has all the money in the world. If he wanted a masseuse, if he wanted to have 5 different masseuses a day and have them rotate, he could easily have afforded that in the privacy of his own home, or maybe a second home or a 10th home where his girlfriend didn't live, whatever the case may be. But he decides to go in public to this massage parlor where he's being apparently videotaped, and the police were on this. I mean, just, you want to talk about a poor decision, and when women say men think with their brain, their second brain, they're absolutely right. In this circumstance, it's absolutely true. Steve Wynn completely tarnished his career because of this stuff, and now Kraft is always going to be remembered as the rub and tug guy.
I think Steve Wynn's was more of a power thing. I think he just wanted to kind of lord over his, because it was an employee, right?
Yeah.
Of him. This was totally different. The big issue here for me is that the desire to be with someone that isn't your wife or who you're married to is not going to go away.
No.
And whether it's to and sometimes it does fix a marriage if it's not, if the intimacy isn't fantastic. But the biggest issue here is that the fact that prostitution is illegal allows for these these women to be sex trafficked and put into these situations. If prostitution was legal, this wouldn't happen.
I would agree, and here's my take on these whole massage parlors, and then I will take some phone calls at 257-5396. Again, that number to call, 257-5396. I don't think they should allow sex, per se, in these calls, or in these massage parlors. Shouldn't allow point-blank sex. I don't think that should be allowed. Then you got to worry about transmitted diseases, sexual transmitted disease, all that sort of thing. But if you catch my drift here, and I cannot be too specific in what I'm talking about, but if you catch my drift, if you're going to pay someone an extra $50, $100, $200, and the woman is willing to give you a so-called 5 or 10 minute happy ending, this is just my opinion, folks. I don't see anything really wrong with it. I know it's against the law. I get that. I'm not saying that people should break the law. I'm just saying that they should legalize that sort of thing. JD, I don't see a big issue with that. I really don't. And that's just my opinion. I really don't. I'm not talking. Look, if Kraft.
No, whether you see an issue with it or not, if it was legalized, it would probably cut down that illegal sex trafficking market by about 80%.
Yeah.
And what does the United States government spend every year trying to stop sex trafficking?
I agree.
Probably 3 times as much as the wall costs, to be honest with you.
I completely agree. What I was trying to say is if this guy Kraft was picking someone up off the street, had sex in his car, or was with an underage girl, I would say, yeah, go ahead. Put him in jail as far as I'm concerned, But not with this case. It's just an embarrassing situation for Kraft. And if they have him on video, he's a liar, and it's not going to go away. Let's take a couple calls on this at 257-5396. Let's start off this segment with Edward. Edward, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. Edward, how are you?
What's up, Edward?
Yes, great. Not to get too...
Edward, did we lose you?
Hello, Edward.
Hold on, Edward. I think...
because,
Edward.
Hey.
Edward, start again for me because I think you cut out there a little bit, so go ahead.
yes, anytime you have bodily fluids, you do have sort of a health and disease issue. But remember when the NFL wouldn't run the Vegas commercial on the
Yes.
Super Bowl,
Yes.
But you look at these people, whether Schwarzenegger having sex with his maid or Jimmy Swaggart going to a crack whore or Hugh Jackman going to a park and picking up a black prostitute and and whatnot. I mean, people, it's more than just the sex. There's something other dynamic. But these brothels, they screen people. They're going to be here legally. They're going to have a background check, health checks. They're not going to be minors, and they're not going to be trafficked people.
Right.
Exactly.
And if you're a legitimate massage person, I'm sure you hate the fact that this industry is tainted like it is. And I remember 10 years ago they busted one of those places on Spring Mountain. They caught a couple deputy sheriffs from San Mateo down here for some convention. I don't know if you remember that one, but we really have to legalize prostitution in the rest of Nevada, especially before that Raiders stadium opens.
I don't, Edward, and by the way, I appreciate the call, Edward. Thank you. I don't necessarily disagree with you. And we've talked about this issue on the show plenty of times before. Yes, I do think that prostitution, if it's legal an hour from here, why shouldn't it be legal here? I agree. I also think that just like the dispensaries, there needs to be certain zones. I don't think in some parts of very wealthy areas they want to have a bunch of prostitution homes, in that vicinity. But I do understand where you were going with that, and I don't think there's, as far as the happy ending discussion that we're having here, and I can't believe we are having this discussion, but look,
and I think he's right. There is kind of a rogue dynamic going on with these celebrities. They just want to do something ridiculous. They just want to go outside of the box and cause some drama in their own lives.
Absolutely.
Seems like.
We're talking about the Kraft situation where he was apparently he's gonna be getting arrested for this. I would imagine, even though it's a misdemeanor, right? He's going to be getting arrested for this. There's a warrant out for him, and it'll be one of those situations where it'll be a misdemeanor, but it is extremely embarrassing. The phone lines are 257-5396. Again, that number 257-5. Did I say 257-5396?
And I do have an issue with it because the woman that he was dealing with was sex trafficked.
You didn't even hear that joke. Unbelievable.
No, I didn't hear that joke.
Unbelievable.
But now, would you have an issue with it if the woman he was dealing with was not sex trafficked?
That's a valid question. Why don't we ask our callers that? Let's go with Dave, 257-5396. Dave, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. How are you?
Hi, Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, Dave. What's on your mind?
Very well.
Well, I'm kind of looking at this from another perspective. The Patriots, everybody loves to hate them right now, and that NFL owners club is pretty exclusive company.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be the first time they've forced an owner to sell. If they get enough egg on their face over this deal, they'll run them out.
That's an interesting point you bring up, but do you really think because of going to a massage parlor they're going to force him out? I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm almost certain that Kraft and Goodell meet up at least 3 times a week.
Well, they're
best friends.
I don't know if they're best friends. But can you imagine?
I don't see him being forced to sell, but that is a very valid point.
Can you imagine because of getting possibly a alleged rub and tug, he would have to sell an NFL franchise? That would be the biggest sports story of the year.
I don't know. Is it rub and tug? Where did that come from?
Well, I mean, we're talking about a massage parlor and a sex act. I am going under the assumption that he did not have sex with this woman. He might have. I don't know. But when you think sex act and you think massage parlor, Dave, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here to say, happy ending or something along those lines. So you're just laughing. You just wanted me to say that on the air, Dave. I know what you're doing. All right, buddy. Thanks for calling in, Dave. I appreciate it. I think you you wanted me to go into more detail. That's all. That's fine. That's fine. 257-5396, the number to call. Again, that number, 257-5396. We are talking about New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. He's in a little bit of trouble. It appears he entered one of those massage parlors, one of those parlors you would perhaps frequent like my co-host does on Spring Mountain, and got a little extracurricular activity in there. No, I don't think he's going to be forced to sell the team. Let's put it this way. If he was forced to sell the team, that would be the most expensive happy ending anyone has ever had in the history of massage parlors. Let's go to Gary. Gary, thank you for calling into the Vegas Take. How are you, Gary?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I guess Robert Kraft is just another retarded genius. I have respect for older people, and I give them benefit of doubt, but sex and money and stuff like that can be a drug. And I wanted to ask you, why can't I want to give a big shout out to John Shapiro. I want you on for 3 hours. Can you do 3 hours?
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary.
I need you to do 3 hours.
The best thing you can do, Gary, here's the best thing you can do for us. Well, there's 2 things, Gary. Can you do 2 things for us? You can email the program director and tell him that, and we appreciate that. And here's the other thing you can do. You can tell your friends about the show, because we appreciate that as well, Gary. You're doing us a great service if you can do that, my man, okay?
I will do that. Will you let me talk another minute, just another half a second here?
Go for it.
I'm from the East Coast, too, and everybody out there sits around and plays cards. I was in the Army, used to sit around and play cards. I come to Las Vegas, nobody sits around and plays cards at home, ever. But you're on the East Coast, you want to know why they close the schools. You don't remember sand and salt? They're not set up to put sand and salt. That's why they close the schools, to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay? You're a young man. Originally I'm deplorable, Gary, so I want to make you angry. I know you're Mr. Tomato Head, and you just love to get angry and call me morons and stuff. That's okay. But I want you to debate every Wednesday for 30 minutes and make this show 30 minutes. I mean, I want this show to be 3 hours. And be the most successful show.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate your kind remarks. We do need to get to some of the other callers, but I always tell our loyal listeners.
Interesting plan, Gary. Interesting plan.
I always tell our loyal listeners, if you enjoy the show, then you could always email the program director, or you can always tell your friends about the show. We appreciate that. Number to call, 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Seth. Seth, thanks for calling in. How are you?
What's up, Seth?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Doing good, Seth. What's on your mind?
Good. I just got to say, I love your show.
Thank you.
Politics and sports, you guys do a really good job.
Appreciate that.
The Robert Kraft thing is I don't know, man. It's sad because, for one, I hate the Patriots, but Robert Kraft himself seems to be a pretty decent guy. And, his wife died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason he's going to these little hole-in-the-wall places is because he wants to go incognito. And I don't know if they even knew who he was.
I bet you they didn't.
Of everybody getting, sexual assault lawsuits and this and that. It's a little risky to have someone come to your house and do that.
I agree. I would imagine some of the women, the cougars maybe, that were working in that massage parlor, I would imagine they had absolutely no idea who this guy Kraft was. He's just an older guy.
Seth, do you think he wore a mask?
No.
I don't think he wore a mask.
Or some type of disguise?
Massage places, they're like, fresh off the boat kind of thing. Not
right, exactly.
Offensive, but they don't really know popular culture too much.
Right.
So they might not even know who this guy was.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The risk of getting these, what happened to a lot of people. People make accusations and, you pay out huge lawsuits. So
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It's a completely bizarre situation. We actually just had somebody call up who said they didn't want to go on air, but they said that the police must have been Rams fans. That's what I guess that's a possibility. I don't know, Seth, but hey, I appreciate
or Steelers.
It's far more of an embarrassing story than it is a serious story.
Yeah, I agree, Seth, 100%. Hey, thanks for calling in.
Great call, Seth.
We appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to hear from someone that can possibly admit on the air that they've actually went into one of these massage parlors and maybe experienced something like this. I would love to hear your story.
And feel free to use an alias.
Yeah. Go ahead and use it. Yeah, you don't have to use your real name. You could say you're Mr. X or something. We're okay with that. The number to call, 257-5396. Again, that number to call, 257-5396. We're talking, of course, about New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who got busted for going into a massage parlor at least on 2 occasions. Something sexual happened in there, allegedly. They're denying it. He's denying it, but I think he's in some trouble, and this is a really embarrassing story for the Patriots. It's an embarrassing story for the NFL. I could switch it up and say, hey, this guy's 77 years old, and he's still a horn dog. I give him credit for that. Anyway, another big story that came out today that I haven't really mentioned yet is this R. Kelly story. Explain this to me out there. How is it that R. Kelly gets indicted after decades of being a scumbag and being with underage women? Decades it takes for an indictment. It takes that much time. Yet this Smollett case took a week. Can somebody please explain that to me? Smollett was indicted in a week. Great police work. Why does it take decades to indict R. Kelly? For the life of me, I don't understand it. You know why he got indicted? Because of that special that came out, Surviving R. Kelly. I guarantee you if that special didn't come out, this guy doesn't get indicted. And I don't know the answer. I've heard some people speculate and say, well, it's because these women, these victims were African-American women. I don't know. I can't speak to that. I don't know the answer to that. I just don't know. What I do know is that it's disgusting that this guy's been able to work for the last 2 decades. From what I understand, and a lot of these women that were teenage girls at the time, some of this stuff happened almost 20 years ago. This guy's been doing this for. I think R. Kelly's going to jail, and I think he's going to jail for a very, very long time. I think that is 100%. He is going to be found guilty. This guy, Avenatti, who Fox News and Tucker Carlson like to call the creepy porn lawyer, I'm going to tell you something. They better give him credit for this, because he held on to this videotape, allegedly, of R. Kelly having sexual relations with an underage girl, and he held on to it until the right time, and then he turned it over to the authorities. And he has done a phenomenal job, and you have to give him credit for this, because without Michael Avenatti, I'm not sure R. Kelly gets indicted. In fact, I'll tell you right now, he doesn't get indicted, I don't think. We have this video. We have this evidence. We have all these women that have come forward, and this could be another Bill Cosby situation, only worse. It could be worse. But again, I asked the question, JD, and I'll ask it to our callers, our listeners. Why is it that it took decades to indict R. Kelly, and this guy Smollett, it took a week? By the way, in regards to Smollett, that's it. He's done with that show. Done. They have taken him off the show officially. He is not going to be back on set. And a lot of people were very upset on the set yesterday when he claimed his innocence. A lot of people were very unhappy, according to TMZ, who covered that story. So I pose this question out to you guys. Why is it? Why is it taking so long for R. Kelly to be indicted? Why? 257-5396, 702-257-5396. JD, I'll ask you, why? Why is it taking so long to get this guy?
Well, at first, the notion was that he had women that had agreed to living with him, and he was treating them like slaves or something along those lines. And I don't know how old they were or what the details were on that, but I think since it's kind of evolved to not only did he do that, but he did that with very, very young women. And I don't think that really came out until the last 2 years.
Well, apparently a lot of these women have told these stories to people. Have they told them to the right people when they were teenagers? I don't know. We know that there's a video out there. We know that was what propelled this. But if this has been going on for so long, it's not just R. Kelly that I want behind bars and what many others want.
I think there's
I want
a lot.
The handlers.
There's a lot of Hollywood that's been doing this for a long time.
I want his handlers.
The music industry, the entertainment, the movie industry. Weinstein, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I think this has been taking place for a long, long time.
One of the women told a story that when she was 15 years old, she went to one of R. Kelly's shows. One of his handlers gave them her and one of her friends who was 16 at the time information to where he was staying in the hotel. They go to the hotel. They meet his handler, who tells them to push their skirts up, which they did. They get into the room, and they said R. Kelly, his genitalia was exposed, walks into the room, asks for a threesome with both of them. One of the girls says no, freaks out, hides in the bathroom. The other girl performs oral on him. And then as they're done, the girl in the bathroom comes out, and then he tries to force her to do the same act on him as the other girl. This is a 15 and 16-year-old girl, and it was well orchestrated. He had people working for him that lured these girls in, that went to his shows, that were fans of his, that went to his shows. And from what many people are saying, this happened repeatedly on a nightly basis in some situations. For years, for decades, he was doing this, and it is amazing to me that finally, hopefully, there will be some justice here. I don't see how this guy, R. Kelly, sees through this one. I mean, he's had some run-ins with the law before, and he was never found guilty. He's going to be found guilty of something here. If we can get Bill Cosby behind bars, you're going to be able to get R. Kelly behind bars. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he should go to jail for, I would think, 5 to 10 years.
His career's over.
His career's definitely over. And Space Jam 2 is coming out soon.
Whose career
which he will not have the lead song on.
Whose career is in a worse spot right now, Smollett or R. Kelly?
That's actually pretty close. Smollett just claimed that he has an untreated drug problem, by the way.
Yeah, of course he's going to use that. Of course he's going to use that as an excuse. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you're not going to believe what UNLV head coach Marvin Menzies said today at basketball practice, and it has to do with the color of his skin. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.